Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio.
So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Time!
Three on the way. Oh! It went in! It went in! And Indiana wins the ball game!
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni!
Float game for the win! Ayler's gone. Goodbye. Touchdown, Indy. Woo! IU. America. They got a football team now.
Pretty simple. I win. Google me.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
Now, here's Jim Coyle.
Yes, it is. Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you for another edition of Indiana Sports Beat Radio. No matter where or how you're listening, lock it in as you drive around the radio station dials. You've got it in the right place. Locked aboard. It's Thursday, practically the weekend. Pretty much counts, right? It's kind of a piece of the weekend. We've got college football tonight. Indiana basketball back at it tonight. The fruits of Indiana's football recruiting are starting to fall into place. Two flipped commitments, one from Penn State, LeVar Keys, and one from in-state, Benjamin Novak, offensive lineman. So things are going well, even though Indiana off this week with an off week. Their final one of the season, which probably came at a great time for them. Needing to get healed up. Brian says the women's basketball team looked really good last night. Good for them. I think they are still undefeated. Men's basketball looking to go 5-0 tonight. Of course, men's and women's basketball undefeated right now, along with men's football. Of course, it's early in the basketball season. Men's soccer getting the number 6 seed in the NCAA tournament. It's what they do. It's what they do. Yep. Fozon. He's got it. Offensive lineman flipped from Wisconsin. An in-state recruit. Fozon, you need to subscribe to the Hoosier.com. Speaking of which, I'm telling you all, this is the time to subscribe. You can subscribe for yourself, give one away for a gift. Either way, there is a grand prize package just for Christmas time that is being given away for everyone that subscribes to the Hoosier.com. I'm wondering if I have the anyway to show it, but it's a $400 plus prize package. Team issued Indiana basketball Adidas winter parka, big full-size hooded thing. Let's see, you get there's an Adidas quarter zip with that package and an Indiana backpack. All of that over $400. Plus you get the subscription at 50% off, and you get a free subscription for a year to The Athletic. Go to the Hoosier.com, subscribe, and and just for you guys that are listening here on the show, if you subscribe, you also get entered for this beautiful Adidas embroidered jacket. It's just all kinds of, you can't beat that deal. You can't. And then the information you get, the breaking information, like Benjamin Novak, where do you think that comes from? Basketball, same thing. The breaking stories are coming from on 3 people. But it's a lot more than that. It's tons of in-depth information, recruiting information. But you also have access to everything. It's an incredible deal. I'm telling you. Let's see. What else is going on in the wide world of sports that we need to talk about? You know, I we'll talk more about these flips later on when Coach joins us, because I know that that's it's a huge deal. But it's kind of expected with the success that Indiana has had, and you take the problems that other teams are having right now. Surprised we haven't seen more flips from Penn State, but that shows you, not sure how many were going for the particular coach, but also there's a lot of position coaches that are involved that recruited these guys. But then a lot of them are going to the school. A lot of them want to play for Penn State. Don't cross the streams. Bama takes down Illinois last night. Pretty entertaining game. Yes, Tim, you are correct. Big game for Bama. It allowed them to bounce back after getting beat by Purdue. It would have really given the Big Ten some screaming rights if a second Big Ten team would have taken down Bama. But the Crimson Tide step up. Illinois goes down. But like Tim says, it was an entertaining game, good teams. So Illinois is Brad Underwood has done it again. He's put it together. That's what he does every year. He puts a good team together. So Big Ten is going to be pretty salty at the top, man. Pretty salty. Alabama is, I would imagine, one of the best teams in the SEC. We've seen Kentucky getting bounced around a little bit. But yes, it is early. And things will change. Teams will get better. Michigan is a team that's going to get better. Michigan's a team that they're just not playing well together at the moment. They have tons of new faces, but so does Indiana. Indiana is a team that's playing very well together for a team that has all those new faces. Michigan's still working on it, still trying to find that. Bill says if players jump ship early, may have to give up on NIL money, may have to wait till end of season by NIL. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Bill. Yep, the Boozer boys at Duke. They are definitely, well, especially I think Cameron is going to be one to be reckoned with. Man, he has shown he's for real. Didn't he have a 30-point game? You have Fred pointing out, and I've talked about this for Indiana games, why, shooting those free throws are so damned important. Illinois missed 9 free throws, and they lost by 4. You think they'd like to have those 4 free throws back, or 5? Yeah. But there's other things. I'm sure there were a couple of easy shots they probably missed as well. What's it going to be like when this portal window opens in January? And Indiana still playing? And other teams are still playing. That's going to be something. You'll have 8 teams Yeah, 8 teams that are still playing when the portal window opens. As soon as the first round of games happen, which are on the 19th and 20th of December, actually. So those games will have already happened, rather. I apologize. The second round is on. So it's just after the second round. So you'll have, 4 teams still playing. But all of the teams that, no, not all of them that receive a bye, because you've got to play that. Yeah, it's going to be weird, man. It's going to be weird. You're going to have guys leaving teams that are still playing. And I wonder, most people have said that they don't expect it to, impact. I think it was Zach Osterman who talked about Bo Pribula last year when he was leaving Penn State wisely. He ended up going to Missouri, becoming the starter there until he got hurt, unfortunately. But that's we may see that again as well. So crazy. Yep, it's going to be crazy without question. But we're all stocked up on crazy. Go sell it somewhere else, baby. Just kidding. We're never stocked up on crazy. We've got plenty of room. We've got plenty of it. But we can never have enough crazy. That's why we got Coach Griffith coming up next. Ease out some of the crazy. Men's basketball. Who's going to be the freshman of the year? It's got to be hard to beat AJ DeBansa. But Cameron Boozer is really the guy that's probably out in front. UConn gets crushed by Arizona. They got punked, according to who said that? I forget. But with about 90 minutes to go until tip-off, Wednesday's top 5 matchup between number 3 UConn and number 4 Arizona completely changed when UConn announced starting center Terrace Reed Jr. was out with a sprained ankle. Reed's one of the nation's best big men. He's averaging 20 points and over 9 rebounds a game. Considered to be the game to game, according to the team. Without Reed, UConn struggled to slow down Arizona, with the Wildcats putting up one of the most dominant paint displays against the Huskies under Dan Hurley en route to a 71-67 win. It was clear that what Arizona intended to do against a Reedless UConn front court. Koa Pete had an early layup. But, when you don't have your guys, man, makes a huge difference. Makes a huge difference. So, we'll see how that continues to play out. Maryland got some good news. Top 10 senior Baba Tunde Oladotun committed to Maryland on Wednesday, giving Coach Buzz Williams his first 5-star recruit in nearly a decade. How Maryland pulls that off, I don't know. I do not know. Arifan Dion went to Houston. Plenty more coming up here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Glad to have you with us. Coach Griff will join us next. We're back with that and plenty more after these messages, of course.
Andy Moore Honda is Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer for a reason. Buy a new Honda and get a 3-month break from car payments. That's right, no payments for 90 days. That includes the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue, and you get it for just 0.9% financing. Or the 2024 Honda Ridgeline Black Edition or the Honda Accord LX, both for just 1.9% financing. Get more to your door from AndyMooreHonda.com, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer and your best place for new and used vehicles. If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemooreSells@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today.
Huddle up, football fans. Tailgate season is here, and nobody gets you ready for game day like Academy Sports and Outdoors. Swing by your local Academy store or shop online at academy.com to find everything you need, from grills to jerseys and more. Be a watch party legend with gear from top brands like Nike and Under Armour, all at unbeatable prices every day. With 8 Academy stores across Indiana, including our Bloomington location, fun can't lose, and neither can you. Gear up today at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage, and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Thursday. Glad to have you along for the ride. Hit that subscribe and like button if you're following on social media. It's easy. Just reach up there right now. There you go. There it is. Hit it. Like, boom. That's it. That's all it took, right? Easy. Coach Griff joins us now. Lane Kiffin, man, oh man, oh man. Champagne problems, of course. Coach of the once beaten Ole Miss Rebels, heading to a college football playoff without question. But does he stay with Ole Miss? And if he doesn't, you can't wait until they're done playing. I don't think. I mean, this is a weird deal now. Timing's everything, baby. And ouch.
Yeah, it's not good. I'm sorry. I'm sick as a dog. Got my radio
that's
voice.
Okay. Welcome. He said like he's out at just throw a little Cajun accent on that. That you sound like
right.
Coach Ed Orgeron. Coach
That's
Ed
right.
Orgeron say, "Hey, I'm gonna come back. If they'll fire me again, I'll come back if they fire me again. Now,
Yeah.
fire me again and pay me another one of them $54 million pack. What dough? Where's the dough? Where's the check? Where did I sign? And where's the dough?
That's right. Yeah, interesting times in college football right now.
Yes,
And,
it is.
Like you said, it's a little bit unbelievable. at the same
Well,
time.
there's so many coaching change opportunities. I also saw that. Daggone it! Tulane's coach allegedly has turned down the Florida job. I cannot recall his name at the moment, but it's
Say that
Tulane's
again?
coach. Tulane's coach.
Oh yeah, they canceled his interview. Which
Well,
people believe
they-
that was because Lane has given his answer, and supposedly
Well-
Lane purchased the house. And
yeah, I
mean,
don't
there's
believe
so
that
many-
crap.
there's
But
so much
this
stuff
came
going
out.
on.
What happened was it leaked that there was a meeting coming up.
Yeah, that's what happened.
And as soon as that leaked, about an hour after it leaked, it was announced that it was canceled. But I think that he apparently turned down the job in that time. That's never
Well,
going to be acknowledged, but
he may
probably
be
what happened.
a hot target for Auburn because he's an Alabama boy, and then of course LSU as being the other one is a possibility for him.
We may have to turn your mic up.
Good. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now,
I
baby?
didn't want to blow you out with this voice, but anyway, yes, Summerall may be going to Auburn, may have a chance at LSU.
John Summerall, right?
John, right. It's crazy. Like you said, there's so many openings and so many people want to get this.
Yeah, it's not necessarily saying no to Florida to stay at Tulane. There's a lot of jobs open. Penn State's open. Auburn's open.
Yeah, and that interview leaked because somebody that's probably within the Florida administration doesn't want him.
Yeah. There you go.
That's why it leaked. I mean, you know as well as I do how tight-lipped athletic departments are on any type of search. Even look at Indiana. I mean, Sig was out of left field when it came to the names that were mentioned in that search. Dolson kept it tight to the vest. Most ADs do, but
they tried to.
Yeah, they tried to. But what I'm saying is that signaled to me why that leaked is because somebody within the orbit of that administration did not want him.
I like my Coach O impersonation.
Yeah.
Too. Thanks. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you may have to do a little voiceover for a ad for your show here. But no, it's crazy. I mean, it's like Oklahoma State is still looking for a coach. And, I think.
You see, there's so many, I can't even remember. There's like 12. Well, there was 12. Hell, there may be more now. You can't.
Well, you gotta think that either Shanahan or Brian Haynes should be or could be a top candidate at some of these lower Power 5 jobs like Oklahoma State.
Could be, but I don't know. I've talked about this. All right. Obviously, most coaches want to become a head coach. Yeah. But do you really want to walk right now? You've toiled. They've been with Cignetti for over a decade, both of them, Mike Shanahan and Brian Haynes.
Mm-hmm.
Is now the time you're going to walk away to go become a head coach at Bowling Green when you're when you're at Indiana, that's number 2 in the country, and I think that they're going to hang out and enjoy the fruits of their labor for a few years minimum.
Well,
we don't know that maybe Bryant doesn't. He probably does, but
you never know whether a guy wants to or not. That's their own personal choice. But there's only so many head coaching jobs out there, and if you're a hot commodity and people are wanting you to, want to talk to you about a particular job, you got to say yes, because you may not have that opportunity again while you're hot. Your value right now is what it is, and it's pretty hot for both those guys. I think if the Chesney guy at JMU, he's rumored to be highly involved at UCLA, which I'm not sure why, but if he leaves James Madison, I would guarantee that either Brian Haynes or Mike Shanahan may be the next head coach there.
That's a good call.
I just don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, they've done what they've done at James Madison. They know the landscape as well as what they've done at Indiana. I just think it'd be awful hard for whoever the AD's there not to highly go after those guys because of what they've done. But that's just my summarization of what's
that's a good call, actually, to be honest with you. Familiarity is huge. That it's a really good call, and it's a scenario where I didn't see any of these guys leaving, to be honest with you. That's a scenario I had not thought of, and it's a good one, and it is one that, I could see one or either of those guys.
Mm-hmm. And it's a top G5. It's a top G5 job right now.
Well, they're looking at making the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's the thing there. Yeah. That's the thing at James Madison. Number one, they have great facilities. They have the support, not just of the administration, but the community. And you're going to have a chance every year to win the Sun Belt, as well as potentially get into the big dance. So, but I'm not trying to shoo any of those guys away. It's just that there's only so many head coaching jobs out there. And if you want to be a head coach, you eventually got to say yes. And usually it's at the time where you're hot. Now, they're not going to take a dumb job just because they want to be a head coach, you know, in that respect. So, but yeah, you know, this has been a great week for everybody just to take a step back and relax and mentally get yourself right. And I think Sig said it pretty well after the game. He was going to kind of reevaluate what they were going to do this week to give more recovery time, not just to the players, but even the coaches. And I thought that was a pretty good insight from him, because you've banged heads for 11 weeks, 6 of the last 11 have been, you know, boom, boom, boom on the road. And then you add to it, you're coming up on a 2-week window here where you could solidify the championship bid for the Big Ten, and also, you know, reinforce your top 4 ranking, number 2 at the moment in the college football playoffs. So there's a lot of things going on right now that they need to be mentally prepared for, on top of healthy. And I hope they are getting healthy. I hope they're getting healthy. That's the big thing.
That's the goal, is you have this time off, an off week in between the last regular season game against the Purdue Boilermakers, and then no time off, and you go straight into the Big Ten championship game. It would have been super nice if they would have had this off week after the Purdue game.
It's true.
Ahead of the Big Ten, but I'm sure no one gets that, because most seasons would be over for most people, or not over, but yeah, you'll have plenty of time off, because most people are not playing in conference championships.
And it's interesting because the quagmire of it is going to happen here in the next couple of weeks with the college football playoff. And you talk about
quagmire. Love that. Oh, got a quagmire in there.
These teams, and who may get in and who may not get in because of people that are right there on the cutoff line. You got Vanderbilt, you got Texas, you know, you've got teams like SC, Michigan. I mean, all these teams that have a legitimate chance. Now, one thing that I think the college football playoffs should do is, one, the final ranking should come after the final game. Because if teams are going to go play
after the final conference game,
for Indiana, after the Purdue game, so December 2nd, the final ranking comes out. Those teams that are playing in college, in the conference.
Now, when you say ranking, are you talking about CFP?
CFP.
That won't come out until after the conference championships.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. This is what I'm trying to say. Not everybody plays in a conference championship game, and those teams that are playing in it should not be dinged if they lose.
They're not supposed to be. They're not supposed to be.
But you know as well,
they aren't. Mostly they aren't. But
I can guarantee say
that for a fact. But you can't say if a team gets beat by 4 touchdowns. Yeah, I disagree. I think they do need to get dinged. You cannot lose by 4 scores and it not have some effect on you.
So then why would you play in it?
That's a legit question. Are these conference championships worth playing in now?
That's what I'm saying.
For these teams, because most of these teams will already have a spot in the college football playoffs. And I get it. Now you're more about risking injury than anything else.
All the above. What I'm saying is, you take a team like Indiana, they're the number 2 ranked team. They go into that college football playoff, and they're going to play the number 1 ranked team. If they get beat by 2 touchdowns, let's just say it's a 14-point differential.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Right? Well, I guarantee you there'll be some that will want to drop them out of the top 5. Because they're going to put Georgia in there no matter what. And you're going to have the argument then is whether or not Indiana deserves a first round bye after losing the Big Ten championship game. And that's my point.
They're not dropping past 3. I don't think, unless they get beat by 4 touchdowns or something like that.
I don't care if it's my point being.
I get what you're saying, but
right.
I disagree. If Indiana lost by 4 touchdowns, I don't think that they belong at the 3rd seed then. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you slipped at least to 4.
You just lost to the number 1 ranked team, which means about 98% of the people that are
but you lost by 4 touchdowns. That shows that there is a huge gap between you and that team. And that tells me you don't really have a chance of beating that team. And so that, to me, separates you on teams that do have a shot at beating that team. That's just my opinion on.
No, I get what you're saying, but that's my point. That's a subjective answer on one game. And it's dinging the team that loses.
Yeah.
To the point that that's what I mean. Why play it? Why would Indiana go play that game when there's no value?
There's not really any value. Other than getting the number 1 seed.
But what difference does it make? It doesn't make any difference because you're still going to get a bye in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, you're still going to play not a lot. I agree. The value of those games has been lost. But
and that's what I think. Go ahead. Yeah, take a break.
Let's take a quick break. Dustin Schutte is going to join us next. Coach Griff is with us now. We'll continue the debate as it rages on. Appreciate you being with us on this Thursday. We're back with more right after. Plenty of messages. I couldn't get it pulled up. You could sing for me. You might have to sing.
Know a team or group needing a fundraiser? Boost Fundraising raises more money faster and offers the most unique and user-friendly online fundraiser in the nation. Your team receives personalized fundraising pages for each team member. Free team-branded promo gifts shipped to each donor. Boost Fundraising does it all. Sports teams, marching bands, charity causes, and community groups. Go to boostfundraising.com and be sure to enter the promo code COYLE, that's COYLE, to receive a discounted fundraiser. Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouthwatering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33, pizza, burgers, beer.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
Huddle up, football fans. Tailgate season is here, and nobody gets you ready for game day like Academy Sports and Outdoors. Swing by your local Academy store or shop online at academy.com to find everything you need, from grills to jerseys and more. Be a watch party legend with gear from top brands like Nike and Under Armour, all at unbeatable prices every day. With 8 Academy stores across Indiana, including our Bloomington location, fun can't lose, and neither can you. Gear up today at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
I was going to say welcome back, but
hey. Choo-choo.
We're just going to listen to this for 15 minutes.
Train rolling down a track. Here comes the boiler train.
On the board.
Boilers on SI. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Can't complain. Nobody wants to listen to it. And I've tried with you guys before and it doesn't work. So it's all good.
Good.
It's all good. It's late fall. We're getting that late fall weather with a little bit of rainy, kind of how it's supposed to be. No complaints. No complaining. There's no complaining in baseball. But football season rolls about to the end. Purdue looked extraordinarily good on that win at Alabama. Illinois couldn't quite get it done last night, although the Big Ten has had a great start to the season on the basketball court. So that's going to be fun. We've got we're about at the end of the line for football, although there are 2 weeks left. It's just Indiana has an off week this week, so it's odd. And while most teams are still playing, and then next week, of course, the season comes to a close. Indiana and Purdue with their final game coming on a Friday. Is that Black Friday?
Yes.
Holy smokes.
Plus, it's state tournament time, too, for football. That'll be the weekend of the state finals.
Oh, mercy, my, oh, my, me. I will, well, that keeps you out of the malls on a Friday, I guess. But good God, what's traffic going to be like? Oh, holy.
I just know.
Well,
Amazon
the good thing is that'll
any.
be in West Lafayette. So, yeah, Friday night game.
Yeah,
That'll
and you
be
might be
interesting.
better off. You might be better off just going to the state championship games. I'm just gonna say.
Well,
I
not
don't
for
know.
Indiana fans. It's going to be a special. This could be special. It's going to be potentially very, very special because of going 12-0.
That's true. I suspect that Ross-Ade Stadium is going to look pretty red on Friday. I don't think there's going to. I think, especially after what happened in Washington, it just kind of looked like the team threw in the towel. I don't know that this team has any motivation to be. If I'm going to be quite honest, they did not even compete on the same field as Washington. It's
hard, man. It's hard when you they played well all year. I've got to give it to them. They played better than their record. I've said this many times. I thought they were going to win games. I thought that they would potentially be playing this game for a shot at maybe being bowl eligible, but it just didn't happen. Other teams played well this year too. Northwestern played well. People can say what they want. And I've talked about the middle of the Big Ten not being that strong. Well, it's not that strong as far as college football playoff caliber teams, but it's strong enough that it's a team that on any given Sunday, you never know what could happen. And so, yeah, that's been the case. And Purdue has been caught up in that because I think the teams are getting better across the line, with the exception of UCLA at the moment. Everybody else who's not gotten better.
Yeah, well, I mean, the problem. I mean, I still contest that. I don't know that Purdue's actually a better football team than they were a season ago. I think they just play harder than they did. And you saw what can happen when they don't play. And this used to be a game, Jim, where there'd be a lot of pride involved. And I think saying throwing out the records is one of the cliche things. Like sometimes there have just been bad matchups, but there's been games where bowl eligibility has been on the line. Maybe one team has underperformed and they've still had some tight games in certain seasons, but you have 54 new players. Like there's no real rivalry there on the Purdue side. Now, what worries me is, Barriota making those comments before the season started about Indiana's schedule, and like 66-0 happened last year with no incentive or no really instigation. And you don't have to give Kurt Signetti.
Did you say 56 or 66?
I said 66. I was there, Jim. Okay. I remember what the score was.
I just wanted to make sure that you had the score correct. I thought I heard 56. And
no. Maybe I did misspeak, but I do know it was 66-0. But trust me on that. But I just wonder, like, you don't have to give Kurt Signetti much for him to make a statement. And I think I was on listening to kind of the tail end of your last conversation. I think to the point in terms of seeding and things, you can call it running up the score, whatever, but he also goes for style points. Right? Like, and if you can be dominant and give the committee one more, even if it's against a bad football team, he's going to take those opportunities. So
Purdue's no dummy. He knows
Yeah, Purdue's going to have to play its best football game of the year to just even be in the game at half.
Yeah, the thing that, Coach, that I would worry about if I was Coach Signetti, unnecessary, because this game is completely and totally unnecessary. We talked about the Big Ten championship. It's almost an unnecessary game for both of the teams that are playing in it because of what they have after. But you have to play this game. It's one you don't really want to play. You don't really want to play the Purdue game right now because of for the same reason. Man, you've got everything in front of you, and I just want to keep my team protected. Let me put them in a bubble here and protect them until we got to go play for the college football playoff.
Right. Well, I think the one thing that would be concerning, and I don't think this is concerning for Indiana right now, but if you entered this game, let's say Purdue had won a couple games and they were 4-7 or 5-6, whatever the case might be, then you're worried because really Indiana has nothing. They only have something to lose in this game, right? Like you want to avoid injury. You want to avoid a close game that gives the committee a reason to maybe not drop you, because if you're undefeated in the Big Ten, they're still going to be number 2, but to others' points, like if they don't win the Big Ten championship game, they might bring up and say, they didn't play that well against Purdue, whatever the case might be. I'll tell you what, though, like to me, and I know they have 2 losses, but if USC can beat Oregon this weekend, to me, they're the one in the catbird seat. Like they're 10-2. They would probably finish with a win over UCLA at 10-2, and then they just get to relax on that championship weekend, and they're probably in the field. They might be sweating it out a little bit, but they would have a win over Oregon. They would have a win over Michigan. Their 2 loss. The one ugly loss was to Illinois at home in Champaign. So, I mean, I guess you could make the same argument for Oregon. If Oregon beats beats USC and then they take care of business against Washington, again, they get to sit home and watch the Big Ten championship game. And look at what Ohio State did last year. They didn't play in the Big Ten championship game. They went to the national championship. So these championship games are essentially pointless. Yes. Well, I don't know if it's, I mean, there's no reward for the Big 12 and the ACC. There absolutely is a reward for the Big 10 and SEC. And we saw last year, seeding doesn't really matter. All 4 of those teams that got a bye were beaten their first game.
There you go. And is that because how many of those, and virtually every one of those teams played in a conference championship game, I'm going to surmise, would have had to.
I believe, yeah.
Because they would have been champions, right?
Yeah, it was Arizona State, Oregon. Now I got to go Georgia. And I'm blanking on the 4th one. So Arizona State was, Georgia lost their quarterback.
It was Clemson, wasn't it? Did Clemson get the bye because they beat SMU in the ACC playoff game?
You might be right on that. That was that's the one I can't remember, but I think you might be right.
The fact that every one of those teams got beat is eye-opening to me. Boy, makes you
because Griff actually coached the sport. So this is my question.
You also have a longer time off.
That's what I was going to say. So how hard is it to get your team back and ready after a bye week and then magnify that by about 3 weeks? And I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if it's easier because they're well rested. I don't know if it's more difficult because there's a little bit of rust that sets in. What is that kind of process like?
Yeah, I tell you, for most people, they'd rather keep going in the latter part of the season as opposed to having a bye at any point in time because of what you just said there. I guess you look at it the same way with the bowls. You can have a big time off because those bowls that are January 1 or at the end of December, you're still getting about a 3 to 4 week period off of work in. I would personally like the rest, in my own opinion, for 2 reasons. One, it gives you a chance to ease them back into the fray to allow injuries that are guys that are, banged up, continue to heal and get a great look at your opponent. Not that you need to spend over an abundant amount of time on your opponent, because for those guys that are getting a bye, they're going to have to study two teams. So like the recent games that poll that came out, Indiana would either play Alabama or Oregon, and they would have to essentially study both teams. So that makes it a little bit more difficult because your time's divided.
Sure.
So it is a different proposition in that respect of having a bye or in the college football playoffs, where you'd rather probably not have the bye there for that reason. You're not being able to hone in on an opponent because you've got two teams that are playing.
Yeah, that makes sense. And one of the things I think is interesting about this, I think from a win-loss perspective, Indiana there's really no benefit to playing that Big Ten championship game. The one thing I would say, though, is it beneficial because you're going to get 2 games in after the bye, as opposed to, all right, if they weren't playing in the Big Ten championship, you play 1 game and then you're back on rest. I feel like you can at least maybe not get into but you know what I'm saying, where you're playing multiple games, you have to prepare, as opposed to just playing. All right, you got kind of this big gap where we just played, 1 game in 1 month. Maybe that, if you want to look at it from the glass half full, that's the best part about.
The bye is going to be approximately, 2 weeks for the teams that get a first round bye. Those 4 teams will, after the championship game, it's going to be a full 2 weeks that they're not going to play again. And that's probably where it's not a good deal in that respect. Because like you said, you start back up, you play a game, and then it's back down and you're kind of waiting for that next round of games to appear. And we were talking about, I don't know if you caught Jim and I talking about this earlier, prior to you coming on here. I just don't see a value in playing a championship game in the Big Ten or in the SEC for that matter, because it can only, in some respects, hurt you more so than it can help you. You know what I mean? I know that if Indiana goes in and beats Ohio State, okay, good. They move up 1 spot, but that doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. You could be 1 or 4 and you're still going to have a bye. And sometimes the 4th position's better than the 1 position because of maybe who you're aligning with in those games. But, and that was my point. I was saying the final ranking should take place on December 2nd before any of the games being played for the conference championship. And the reason being is playing in the conference championship game should not hurt you in any form or fashion. So you get a close game. Indiana beats Ohio State by 1 by a miraculous field goal to walk off. And does it matter if Indiana's 1 over 2 in that respect because of that game? Or Indiana was the 4th seed and then they knocked them off. So that means they're not going to jump all the way to number 1. They're going to jump up to maybe 3 or 2. So, I mean, my point being is I think those teams that are going to play in a conference championship game should not be penalized for doing so. And in some respects, not overly rewarded if the lower seed beats the top seed in that respect. Right. So, for instance, you get a 3-loss team in a championship game somewhere. They're not in the top 12. They're not getting in the playoffs because the conference championships don't always guarantee a top seed. So if you got a 3-loss team that beats a team in the conference playoffs or the conference championship game, but they weren't ranked in the top 12 prior to that, guess what? They're not getting in. I don't care who you beat at that point in time, because it's irrelevant for a 3-loss team to go have a miraculous game and win. And then all of a sudden you think you got to jump them all the way up because they won 1 game.
Well, let's
See,
say
to me,
this:
that's-
Alabama. Let's say Alabama and Texas A&M made the SEC championship. Alabama is what? Where are they right now? I know they've dropped.
Well, they're
11.
Yeah, no, I think they're
we're-
at 10. They're at 10.
Okay, but they have a very legitimate shot of making the SEC championship game.
Sure do.
Let's say they played Texas A&M and beat Texas A&M. How are you not going to give the SEC champion that number 3 seed, whatever? You're probably gonna, in that case,
I
do
think
you
they're
move?
what, 3?
Do you just
Yeah.
do you leave Indiana alone at 2? Move that Alabama team to 3 or 4, and move Texas A&M up. Yeah,
What I would
Texas
say in
A&M
that-
is the team. Texas Tech is the team I'm saying look out for, people. They're
Sure.
going to slide into that 4th. They're going to get that 4th slot one way or the other, because if it's Alabama or that makes the SEC, I don't think they're going to be 2 SEC teams in the top 4 unless it is A&M and Georgia.
That could happen. Well, let me I just want to kind of round out this conversation
and we need you to round out this conversation.
Well, I was just gonna say, this is to Grip's point. Like, Oregon was by far the best team in the Big Ten last year, looked like the best team in the country. They went 13-0, won the Big Ten championship game, not easily, but there was never really, the outcome was never really in doubt. And they get beat by Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. Ohio State goes 10-2. They lose to Michigan. They sit at home during the Big Ten championship game. Do you think anybody in Columbus cares? They probably care that they lost to Michigan, but they don't care that they didn't win the Big Ten title. They want to win the national championship. And so, yes, that's why I said, if you're almost in a better spot if you're USC or Oregon, because you don't have to worry about that championship game. You get that time to rest and make sure that your guys don't get injured. So I don't know. They're going to have to. I don't know that they're ever going to rethink this because it makes too much money. But I do believe at some point there's going to be certainly an attendance drop off at the Big Ten. Because why are you going if you have to go to all these other places and you can go to the
Dustin? What they're going to have to do, and I agree with you. They're going to have to incorporate these conference championships into the college football playoffs to where they have game. Yes, whether it's a play-in game, whether it's a seeding game, whatever, it's going to have meaning, because you would think that being conference champion would be meaning enough for a Big Ten or an SEC champion, and who would have thunk that we'd possibly be having this conversation? But it is because of how things have changed. I know you got to get going, Dustin. I hate it, but I wish we could. Plenty we could talk about today. Damn it.
Yeah, and I got to go because I got this voice, and I've got to do the breakdown on the big new flip.
Yeah, Ed Orgeron. Ed Orgeron got to go there. He got to do my new Ben Novak breakdown on a new breakdown film now. Yes, and Coach Ed Orgeron. I got to thank my guest there, Dustin Schutte. Big thanks to you. Now next time you got to bring some etouffee now with you. Bring some of them crawdads. Bring some of them crawdads now. You can't be coming empty-handed here. Coach O got a big appetite. Big thanks here to Coach Griffith. We got to take a break. This is Coach Ed Orgeron. We'll be back with more Indiana Sports Beat Radio right after these messages from your favorite sponsors.
If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today.
When it comes to apparel and promotions, Freethink has you covered, literally, whether it's 24 or 200 shirts for sports leagues, businesses, or groups. Freethink Apparel and Promotions can also create your very own merchandising store. Freethink Apparel and Promotions did it for Indiana Sports Beat Radio, and they can do it for you. Whether it's screen printing, embroidery, digital printing, promotional products, vehicle wraps, or anything else under the promotional line. See what Freethink Apparel and Promotions can do for you at freethinkapparel.com.
Huddle up, football fans. Tailgate season is here, and nobody gets you ready for game day like Academy Sports and Outdoors. Swing by your local Academy store or shop online at academy.com to find everything you need, from grills to jerseys and more. Be a watch party legend with gear from top brands like Nike and Under Armour, all at unbeatable prices every day. With 8 Academy stores across Indiana, including our Bloomington location, fun can't lose, and neither can you. Gear up today at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouthwatering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33, pizza, burgers, beer. Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio, on this Thursday, heading into the Thanksgiving time of season. We're not quite there just yet, but the giving season. Hey, Fernando Mendoza, I've decided to just start calling him Fernando. I think he's escalated to one name status. Fernando. Is there anything else that needs to be said? Fernando. You can hear the girls calling Fernando. Who else would you be talking about? Fernando. But if that's not good enough, you can go with Heisman Mendoza. Again, man, he's got the one name deal down, I think. So I'm just going to start calling him Fernando. And we always love to hear from Fernando. What a tremendous speaker he is. Here's your chance.
His work ethic and what it's all accumulated to is so special to see, that he's making huge plays on the field, getting a lot of targets, getting a lot of catches, and really contributing to our already elite receiving corps.
Beyond this game, second half dominance has been like a trend for this team this season. Yeah. What do you attribute that to?
I would attribute it to the brotherhood. I think our superpowers in offense is that we play for each other. We don't play for stats. We don't play for, the reason we play is to play together and to win. There's no other ulterior motive that we have as an offense. So when you have that, our offense is always able to come together and get gritty and rely on each other in critical moments, and we're always able to thrive in those moments.
So there's coming out of half here, second quarter at Maryland, last drive at Penn State. How is this team able to just kind of lock in and hit that second, third, fourth gear so often?
I think it's a great coaching that we get in the halftime, whether it's Coach Signetti, Coach Shanahan, Coach Whitmer, whoever it is, and then also on the defensive side of the ball. I think that we're a great team at adjusting to whatever mistakes we made in the first half and how to improve on those in the second half. And I think that really shows, the coaching really shows, especially in those first drives of the second half.
Fernando, what do you say about the fans?
I want to give my heart out to the fans. They've welcomed me so much, especially being here throughout the entire season. Senior night, what a special night for all the seniors. And it's just been thank you to the Hoosiers fans so much. It's made myself, our team welcome, and it's really elevated our game and helped us get a lot of wins this season. 7-0.
There's Fernando. That was actually after the game last week, and we actually got to speak with Fernando. Over here, Fernando. We were able to speak with Fernando just yesterday, and that's not the clip that I was looking to pull down. So hopefully I can get the other one pulled up here in a little while. Matt Taylor will join us on the program as well today. The Colts are they on a bye week this week, or was that last week? I'm getting confused. It's too much going on. Too much happening in the world, man. Indiana plays basketball tonight against Lindenwood. Another little pre-conference game as they head Closer and closer to things getting real. Kansas State, Louisville, and Kentucky on the schedule to look at. But let's see. Here's Shannon sharing a stat with me he forgot to share. He's been analyzing Indiana. Interesting. Indiana has managed to score a total of 50 points in the final 2 minutes before halftime in 9 out of their 11 games. Wow. That is a great stat, Shannon. 50 points in the final 2 minutes before halftime in 9 of their 11 games. I can't wait to bring that up to Signetti. Those little details, see, those are the little things that separate championship teams. You know, I sit there a lot during the day and I'm looking through, as Shannon does, as we all do, looking through statistics. You're picking out different things that separate teams. You know, Ohio State might have the best defense in the country. I don't know. They've done pretty damn well in limiting teams to run the ball, to score. Indiana's not that far behind. But Indiana, for example, has allowed 500 more yards passing, something like that. Close. But Indiana also has grabbed, I think, 15 interceptions as compared to 6 for Ohio State. Hell, Indiana's Lewis Moore has 5 interceptions by himself. Is that because Ohio State has not faced as much of a passing attack, or because they're not allowing teams to throw the ball? Good questions. But it just shows you how there's so many different things that you can, need, and must look at to determine, you know, who's better. That's why all these metrics are employed now. And you can't just use metrics. You can't just use computer numbers. But a combination of all this stuff does mean something. It does matter. It does give you information. Now, a lot of times when you look at stats, you're going to see especially individuals or sometimes teams that are lower level teams because they're just dominating other lower level teams. But overall, you can tell when teams stand out. You can tell which stats kind of really matter because you know who they've played, which matters tremendously. And statistically, whoo, Indiana's team is on both sides of the ball, without question, probably a top 3 team. It's amazing when you look across the stats. But this one right there, that's not one I would have found, and it's a great stat. That tells you Indiana's doing in the last minutes of games. Their prowess. How dangerous they are. I've talked about that before. Indiana is a dangerous, dangerous offensive team, especially when they get in that situation to where they're backed in the corner. They're like a snake. It's like backing a snake in a corner. He's got no place to go, and he's got nothing to do but one thing. He's going to strike. He's going to strike because that's survival, and that's how they survive. And that's how Indiana survives. They're going to strike, and they can strike because unlike a snake that has one head, Indiana seems to have 3 and 4 heads. with Omar Cooper and Elijah Surratt and Charlie Becker and Riley Nowakowski and whoever else you want to throw into that mix. And that doesn't even include the running backs. And that doesn't even include Fernando himself. It's going to be fun and interesting. Can Indiana actually jump in the mix with the big boys? We're going to find out. Last year, they got a big dose. Wasn't quite ready. I think that they will be ready this year. I think they are ready this year, but I also think that getting Drew Evans back is tantamount. They have to get Drew Evans back to have a chance to actually win the national championship. Indiana has to get Drew Evans back. Not that he is the most important player on the team, but he's one of the most important players on that offensive line. And the offensive line is one of the most important parts of that team. Got to have it. You saw what it was like earlier in the year, how dominant they were and have been with the running game. That's got to return. They've got to have that. That balance is what makes that team so dangerous. Not only do they have the incredible, dangerous passing game, but when you add a lethal running game, of which they have had all year long, it matters tremendously. And they've got to have that back in order to compete for a national championship. There's no question. I mean, don't think I'm telling anybody anything that a relatively intelligent person already knows. We haven't heard much about it. Frankie, the kicker, haven't heard much about him, which tells me, A, he's not day-to-day. He's not week-to-week. They have not given us any indication of that. I don't know that he makes it back this year. And if he does, I would ascertain that it probably would not be until the college football playoffs, which means that's another 5 weeks from now. 4.5, whatever. So that would give him another month off. Does Drew Evans need another month off? Because I'd rather have somebody back for the college football playoffs than for the Big Ten championship. If we're being honest. Winning the Big Ten would be incredible, but it's not the ultimate prize. It's not what you're going to be judged on. It's not the last game of the year. Do you want to be at full force for the Big Ten championship or the CFP? I think that's a fruitless question, of course. Of course, the CFP. It'd be great to be both. Can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But sometimes you just might find, yeah, you know the rest. Matt Taylor's going to join us in the next segment, although the Colts are benefiting from I believe they're off this week. I've got to double check that, but I think that they are also off. And while we're in the break, I'll try to get the Fernando clip pulled up that I meant to have to begin with. I'm not sure how we got those switched around. Oh, there it is right there. What am I thinking? Right in front of me. And it just didn't pop up.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
This was actually
we will
yesterday.
have redshirt junior quarterback Fernando Mendoza here for you. We will start with Pat Forty and then go to Jake Trotter. Go ahead, Pat.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Hi, Fernando. Thanks for the time today. My first question for you. You have a remarkable ability to look a camera in the eye when you are speaking and your general public speaking persona. I'm wondering how that came about.
Yeah, well, I appreciate being on the Zoom, Mr. Forty. That is a great question. I would say that eye contact is something that my mom has instilled for me from a young age, and a lot of coaches have instilled for me in a young age. I was from youth football to middle school to high school. People have always told me, you listen with your eyes, not your ears. And so whenever I would be taking a knee, the coach after practice, I'd be looking around like la-di-la-di-da. They would always be like, Fernando, look at me. So I would say that looking someone in the eyes not only shows importance, but it shows that you care about the time and care that you're being there. So that's something that I always try to reflect.
Fernando, listen to that. Oh my goodness, Fernando. We got to take a break with that. We'll be back with more Indiana Sports Beat Radio, more Fernando, and Matt Taylor from the Colts should be joining us as well. Plenty more coming here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Back with it right after these messages.
The ISC Sports Network is your home for sports content across the Hoosier State. Find us live on TV and streaming or archived on our website and our app. The ISC is your one-stop shop for the content you want to see, including high school sports, college sports, and other great events throughout the year. Subscribe to our streaming service and get access to it all. ISC, local lives here.
Know a team or group needing a fundraiser? Boost Fundraising raises more money faster and offers the most unique and user-friendly online fundraiser in the nation. Your team receives personalized fundraising pages for each team member. Free team-branded promo gifts shipped to each donor. Boost Fundraising does it all. Sports teams, marching bands, charity causes, and community groups. Go to boostfundraising.com and be sure to enter the promo code COYLE, that's C-O-Y-L-E, to receive a discounted fundraiser.
If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today. When it comes to apparel and promotions, Freethink has you covered, literally, whether it's 24 or 200 shirts for sports leagues, businesses, or groups. Freethink Apparel and Promotions can also create your very own merchandising store. Freethink Apparel and Promotions did it for Indiana Sports Beat Radio, and they can do it for you. Whether it's screen printing, embroidery, digital printing, promotional products, vehicle wraps, or anything else under the promotional line. See what Freethink Apparel and Promotions can do for you at freethinkapparel.com.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Thursday. Glad to have you along. Glad to have our friend Matt Taylor along as well. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Jimbo. What's happening?
Oh, just enjoying the time. There's a bye. Indiana has an off week this week, so you know what that's like. A little less bouncing around as it could be. So going to enjoy that. But there's plenty going on, plenty to talk about because it's just getting more and more fun with everything going on, no matter what, with the Colts, the season that they're having, the Hoosiers, recruiting, high school football. Man, we're at the peak, the throes of high school with the semi-state round coming up. So for football, man, it's getting to be peak season, although we've got all the way into January, so we're not quite there, but we kind of feel it coming on.
Oh, this is the best time for football because you have meaningful Friday nights. Obviously, you have a lot going on Saturdays, and then the Colts get back into action after a bye week this Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs. So, yeah, you've got plenty of things to consume the entire weekend if you love football. My high school is still going. They got a big semi-state game coming up tomorrow.
Who's that? Who's that? Who that?
That'd be the Ron Colley Royals still going. Yeah,
Hey,
looking to put.
as a matter of fact, Kyle Nedrip is on with me each Wednesday, and I asked him. He said this is probably the game of the week. Ron
Yeah.
Coffey and the Fighting Trent Sisley's Heritage Hills, right?
Heritage Hills. And isn't he going to, if I'm not mistaken, quarterback wise, is he going to an SEC school?
Who's that?
The quarterback for Heritage Hills.
Oh, I don't know. I was calling them the Fighting Trent Sisleys.
I'm with you, but yeah, I think this is like Jay Cutler 2.0. Funny story.
Well, yeah. That's kind of what exactly what Kyle said. Kyle pointed that out. Yeah, he called him kind of Jay Cutler 2.0 almost. So yeah, you're right.
So Jay Cutler was, I think he was just like 1 year ahead of me in terms of us crossing over in the high school era. I think I was like in 8th grade when he was a senior. But same deal, right? Heritage Hills played up here in a semi-state game against Roncalli. And, I mean, that was like watching a man among boys. I mean, it was like lasers, pew, 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 all over the field. We were all like, who the hell is this guy? And that guy ended up being Jay Cutler, who started in the SEC and obviously went on to a really good career in the NFL. But, yeah, it was like night and day. You could just tell that guy was destined for greatness.
Is that Jet Goldsberry? No, seriously.
No. Yeah, I don't know the young man's name. But I mean, I've heard he is just as impressive.
Yeah, that's it. Jet Goldsberry. What a name. Jet.
Yeah.
Quarterback named Jet. Yeah, are you going to that game?
I'm not sure I'm going to make it. So my daughter is in a school. She's got a school function, school play on Friday night that starts at 7 and the game starts at 8. So it's kind of TBD. We're kind of playing that one by ear.
Yeah, I'd love to get up and see that game, man. But for all of you that you can get up there Friday, it's a November 21st, 7 p.m. game. So that's coming up, baby. Tomorrow night. There you go. That should be a good one. How's everything going for you? How was last weekend?
It was great. It was really good. I took most of the week off, so I was off from work, Tuesday through Friday, and it was great. I mean, I tell people I did everything, but also nothing at the same time, if that makes any sense, because I got a lot of stuff done, around the house and reconnected with the family and the kids. I did school drop off and pick up and things like that. So I had places to be and things to do, but nothing for work. Sort of detached and was able to get away from the grind of it, which is really good. This, like when you get away a little bit, like you feel like you're gone for like 2-3 weeks, even though it's only a couple of days, just because you just need that time to, not think about things and not let the daily grind get to you. And so it was nice to kind of detach, but it's amazing how far removed you feel from that game in Germany, even though it was just 2 weeks ago. It feels like we haven't played a game and we haven't done prep and all that stuff for play-by-play in a month, even though it's only been, 1 week. But we're fully back into the grind now and excited for the last 7 games of the season here for the Colts.
Yeah, and coming at a good time. Speaking of buys, coming at a good time for them now, and they face a Chiefs team that is not exactly the Chiefs team of old. They've been rattled a little bit, and Indy may be catching them at the right time, although always tough to go to Arrowhead Stadium. Man, this is kind of sneak. It feels like a sneaky good time for the Colts.
See, I don't know. I feel like it's, I think you're going to have I feel like you're going to have a very hungry and desperate team in the Chiefs. This is uncharted waters for them, at least under Patrick Mahomes, right? Because they've never lost 3 straight games under Patrick Mahomes. He's been there since 2018. They've never lost 3 in a row. And so that's in danger. But, they're 5-5, and they're a fascinating team. I've spent the last couple of days really diving into them. And, we see the greatness from afar, and, the dynasty has always been there. But, even though they're 5-5, you have to kind of take a microscope to them and really figure out what's going on, right? So they got 5 wins by at least 13 points, and they have 5 losses by 7 points or fewer. So they're not winning the close games like they had grew so accustomed to in years past. And if you go back at the beginning of the season or going into this season, Jim, they had won 17 straight games decided by 1 score. That's 7 points or fewer. They were 17-0 going into the season in their last 17 games decided by 1 score. This year, they're 0-5 in close games. So that's the biggest reason why they're 5-5 is just they're not making the plays down the stretch. Other teams are. I mean, you go back to last year, I don't want to take anything away from them, but they were 15-2 a year ago, but they were not an impressive football team. They didn't blow anybody out last year. They got lucky a couple of games. Teams kind of squandered opportunities against them. So that was the biggest reason why they were such an impressive team record-wise a year ago, is because they were just really fortunate in 1-score games. They're not having that luck so far this year. In fact, this year, they actually have a better point differential so far through 10 games this year than they did all of last year. So to me, statistically, they're still they resemble a top-notch team. You know, Patrick Mahomes is having a Patrick Mahomes season. Travis Kelce's having a little bit of resurgence offensively. They rank top 10 in everything you'd want to rank top 10 in, and total offense and passing and red zone. They've got 6 receivers over 250 yards, so they're a very diverse team. On defense, they've got Steve Spagnuolo, who's one of the best defensive coordinators in the game. So they've got all the ingredients for the recipe. They're just not winning those 1-score close games this year like they were in years past. But they're very hungry. And I think, the Chiefs fans and people inside Arrowhead Stadium on Sunday, Chiefs Kingdom, they're going to be freaking out. They know that this is desperation mode for them as they try to, make a push for the playoffs. They're in 3rd place in the AFC West, and their streak of winning their division 9 straight years, that's in jeopardy. Their streak of making the playoffs 10 straight years is in jeopardy, and they've gone to the AFC Championship game 7 straight years. That's in jeopardy. They've got to kick it into gear. And this is a weird dynamic, too, because the Colts are 8-2. The Chiefs are 5-5. I know the Colts are going to be the road team at Arrowhead on Sunday, but the odds maker still like the Chiefs in this game. So believe it or not, the Colts are actually the underdogs against the Chiefs on Sunday. So it's a weird dynamic game, and I think it's really fascinating going into this game on Sunday.
Take the Colts and the points, baby. Colts and the points, of course. Yeah, it's all. I mean, anytime you go up against Patrick Mahomes, everybody knows the drill. It is what it is. It's like back in the day when you were facing Tom Brady. It didn't matter what the score was at halftime. You've got to play 60 minutes and keep the ball out of their hands if at all possible. And most importantly, you've got to score with it when you have the opportunity and take care of the ball, not give them extra opportunities by turning the ball over. So the Colts just need to keep doing what they've been doing, playing Colts football, which has gone pretty well so far this season. But there are some teams that have been surprising, man. How about the Patriots and Drake May? Man, you want to talk about a franchise coming back from the dead? That was the Patriots. They stunk. They were stinking it up, man.
What is it now? 7 or 8 straight wins. They're playing really good football. And that's the thing. I mean, that was kind of heartbreaking for the Colts, is that, they're 8-2 and they finally get a bye, and they're coming back home from Germany and they're riding high, and they're, trying to get rested and, take some time for some self-reflection and self-scouting on the bye week with a week off. And all of a sudden you come back and you don't play. And all of a sudden you go from 1st place in the AFC playoff pecking order to 3rd just by not playing, because these teams around the Colts just keep finding ways to win. I know the Patriots last week took care of a really bad Jets team, but, give credit to the Broncos. They were able to scratch out one of those close games like we just talked about with the Chiefs. So you've got the Patriots and Broncos both 9-2. The Colts are 8-2. mean, none of this matters as of right now, but it was just kind of disheartening to see the Colts not get any breaks or any luck by not playing. So pretty soon everybody's going to have the same amount of games played and none of this stuff's going to matter, but you just got to keep on winning and keep on stacking victories inside the AFC. That's the biggest thing for the Colts. This is another chance to get a win and psychologically, boost some confidence against a team that's still in the midst of a dynasty in Kansas City, but it's an AFC game and the Colts have still yet to lose inside the AFC this season.
Yeah,
Actually, I beg your pardon. They have one loss. I beg your pardon. They lost one game to the Steelers. But outside of that, they've been perfect.
Yeah, it's been amazing to see. And damn, the best bet going was Fernando to win the Heisman and for Jonathan Taylor to win the NFL's MVP. But that was going to be a stretch because it's hard for a not quarterback to win the MVP. Hasn't happened since 2012. But boy, Drake May has sure stuck his big old beak up into that deal now. So kind of takes a little luster off of that. But I still think Jonathan Taylor's in great shape to win the Offensive Player of the Year if things continue. What a season he's having, man.
Oh, it really is. I mean, it's spectacular. I mean, I think his season was sort of encapsulated on one play in terms of his brilliance and the excitement that he brings. He had the 83-yard touchdown run against the Falcons in Berlin. Let's just talk about the play itself, right? He's bottled up. He's got nowhere to go. The Falcons have all of the run gaps fitted. It's going to be like a 2 or 3 yard gain. And then all of a sudden, he's great vision, great speed, great, formation recognition, breaks it out, uses that blazing speed of his, goes 83 yards for a touchdown. So the 83-yard touchdown is the longest rushing touchdown in Colts history. But that play and that touchdown also set the Colts franchise record for career rushing touchdowns as Taylor passed Edgerrin James in that regard. So he had one play filled with so much excitement. It meant so much, but it also, just in terms of the game itself, put the Colts on top on the scoreboard late in the fourth quarter against the Falcons. I mean, that play had everything, and I think it just, again, summarizes Jonathan Taylor's brilliance so far this year.
Absolutely. And just, I mentioned him for potential awards. Hey, Daniels, he's up there. Shane Steichen could be coach of the year. I mentioned all the possibilities between Indiana and the Colts of coaches of the year awards, Heisman, offensive player. There's going to be a lot of awards won between the Hoosiers and the Colts this year. I really believe that.
No doubt about it. I did find it funny, though, and maybe this is just coming from, I don't know if anybody else picked up on this, and I think the only reason why my ears perked up is because just, working and being around the NFL. Otherwise, I don't think I would have noticed it. But, I heard Curt Cignetti say it, and I heard a couple of players after the game against Wisconsin mention it. They said, oh, man, it's been a grind for us. We've played 6 games in a row. I'm thinking 6 games in a row? Like, why? Why is that such a grueling process? I mean, these guys.
Welcome to the NFL.
They just got done playing 10 weeks in a row. And by the way, they reported for training camp about 3 weeks to a month earlier than some of these guys in the NFL. So I don't know. Like, I think, you're 18 to 22 years old and you play full go 1 day a week. Like, you're in okay shape. I understand you got to get healthy. You got to take care of yourself, but it's a grind, man. And I mean, when you have, I guess, again, I think my vision is blurred a little bit just by being around the NFL for as long as I have been.
Oh, I understand. It reminds me of when Mike
those guys get 2 bye weeks. They get 2 bye weeks.
2 and 12. Well, I got actually 2 and 14, but yeah,
right.
Ain't bad.
No,
Then what? 3 weeks off. But let's see. The Big Ten Championships, December 6th. Indiana will not play again until basically the first of the year. So 3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks off.
Yeah. No, again, that's just, again, I that means nothing. I just thought it was interesting, just coming from a different point of view.
How about here's a stat that for the Hoosiers that Shannon Griffith, Coach Griffith sent in the last 2 minutes of their nine games, Indiana has scored 50 points.
In the last 2 minutes of their games this season?
Just in the last 2 minutes of games.
Wow. See, that's way higher than I thought it would be, because they're not trying to score in the last 2 minutes of games typically, because they have a lot of blowout wins.
Yeah, they haven't had to. And
Right.
generally I mean, how many fourth quarter games did Fernando not even play?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's got to be almost close to one full game's worth of not playing because of.
Oh, that was the case after 4 games.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't even throw a touchdown pass in the first game period. And he leads the nation and just set IU's passing record, touchdown record.
Yeah, that makes his body of work all that more impressive. There's no doubt. And you know what? And I know, listen, I know you know it better than I do, right? So I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But I know IU is really putting him out there this week with a week off, and they're doing a lot of media with him, and rightfully so, trying to get him out there for a Heisman Trophy push. But obviously you're impressed with him as a quarterback. But I'm blown away with him as a public speaker, how he handles himself, his body language, his vocabulary, the way he articulates, the way he speaks. Again, just the way he presents himself and represents himself is just, I mean, what is he, 22 years old? I mean, he blows me away with how mature and impressive of a human being and a leader he is.
Well, and actually, before you joined us, I was playing a clip we had the opportunity to speak with him yesterday. The very first question came from Pat Forty, and Pat asked him that very question because I'd actually talked to Pat about this on how every time after the game, it's fun just to watch. It's like someone pulls his string as soon as the sideline reporter asks a question and lets go of that string, because he turns away from the reporter and looks directly into the camera. You might as well just give him the mic and get the hell out of the way. It is now the Fernando show. And I've given him, he is now a one-name athlete. Fernando over here, Fernando.
I think it's fascinating too, and I don't think there's any way he doesn't win the Heisman because of his production and his body of work and resume on the field. I think that's going to win him the Heisman. But something that certainly doesn't help is this nickname, the Heisman Dosa. I mean, this is just like Joe Theismann. Nobody knows who the heck Joe Theismann is, but they know who Joe Theismann is. That's it, baby. Right? You got to change your name so it rhymes with Heisman. I don't think there's any way.
Perfect is that nickname? I mean, I don't know that there's ever been. I think this one is better than Joe Theismann.
I agree.
Because they didn't have to change his name. He just added it to it, baby.
So I think the nickname sort of puts it over the top, and hopefully this magical season for Indiana can continue, coming from an Indiana fan here. And if it does, it's only going to add to his lore and mystique. And even though it's probably only going to be 1 year, he's going to be an IU legend forever.
Oh yeah, unfortunately, he might become a New York Jets legend next year or something like that. It's hard to become but how huge would it be for Indiana to get a Heisman Trophy winner? All the things that they're accomplishing right now, and we're going to see some recruiting benefits from that. I think there's been 2 flips in the last week, one from Penn State, one from I forget where he flipped from, but he was in state. But getting a Heisman Trophy winner, that's huge for a school that has never had one. That just gives Curt Cignetti something else to dangle in front of his recruits. I think we lost him.
Yeah. And while we're waiting to get Matt back, yeah, Bill, you are correct. There's Matt's back. You there, brother?
I'm here. I lost you.
That's all right. Yeah. And while I forget, or before I forget, Bill pointing out that, and correctly so, because I was going to reread it. That stat that I gave you was that Indiana has managed to score a total of 50 points in the final 2 minutes before halftime in 9 of their 11 games.
That sounds more accurate. Yeah.
Yes. Before halftime in 9 of their 11 games. I mean, that's getting it done because they're also 7-2 in coin tosses, I think, which means they get the ball coming out of halftime. So Indiana is making hay when they're supposed to. I mean, that's just those little things. But what were we talking about? What were we talking about? I asked you something. I forget.
I don't know. You were cutting out there, but we call that, going back to your stat about the end of the first half, we call that the roundabout, right? Because most teams in the NFL, well, I think it's different now. The dynamic kickoff has changed things, but historically, most teams want to win the toss, defer to the second half, and get the ball to start the third quarter, because the way things generally time out is when you start the game on defense, you typically, based on the analytics, and they've done a lot of studies on this, you typically get the ball last at the end of the first half. So you have a chance to double up and really dominate that middle 8, right? The last 4 minutes of the second quarter and the first 4 minutes of the third quarter. We call it the roundabout, where you end the half with the ball and start the second half with the ball. And if you can score twice before or between possessions by your opponent and go up by 2 scores, you change the complexity of the game, which is why a lot of teams still do that based on the kickoff rules in college football.
Absolutely. So what's your weekend looking like, man?
Saturday we head out to Kansas City and
get some barbecue. You look for some barbecue, some ribs,
some steak and barbecue, baby. Trying to find out where we can get our fix. There's no doubt we're already on the search.
I figured by now you'd already have these places scouted out. I mean, as many times as you've probably been to these places, or is it that you just want to go to a different place every time?
You know me, like I'm gonna get to the hotel, I'm gonna get the Google machine out, and I'm gonna hit the button, and then I'm gonna go where the button tells me to go. You know me.
That's the best way to do it, man.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff on my plate. No pun intended. So I'm gonna let Google handle that one.
Well, enjoy eating it all up, brother.
Will do, man. Great to be with you. Have a good weekend.
Hey, have a great broadcast and a winning broadcast as hopefully the Colts get back on the winning side, especially at Arrowhead. That would be huge as the Colts season continues. Appreciate you, my friend. Matt Taylor joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Make sure you're giving him a follow and keeping up with his broadcasts. Turn the TV down, turn Matt up. You can you can sync that yourself, by the way. So, but we've got more coming up. Indiana Sports Beat Radio back with more right after these messages.
Andy Moore Honda is Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer for a reason. Buy a new Honda and get a 3-month break from car payments. That's right, no payments for 90 days. That includes the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue, and you get it for just 0.9% financing, or the 2024 Honda Ridgeline Black Edition, or the Honda Accord LX, both for just 1.9% financing. Get more to your door from AndyMooreHonda.com, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer and your best place for new and used vehicles. If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemooreSells@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today.
Huddle up, football fans. Tailgate season is here, and nobody gets you ready for game day like Academy Sports and Outdoors. Swing by your local Academy store or shop online at academy.com to find everything you need, from grills to jerseys and more. Be a watch party legend with gear from top brands like Nike and Under Armour, all at unbeatable prices every day. With 8 Academy stores across Indiana, including our Bloomington location, fun can't lose, and neither can you. Gear up today at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Thursday. Yesterday, we had the opportunity to speak to Fernando. Oh, Fernando, over here, Fernando. And as usual, he did not disappoint. Let's hear some more of what Fernando had to say.
Yeah. Hey, Fernando, can you take me through what it's been like having your brother at your side through the season? And then can you detail the pride that you two guys have in your Cuban family roots?
Definitely, yeah. I think it's been such a fantastic experience. Myself and one of my main pillars is always staying in the present moment in order to make the most of the present moment, because the future is just a whole string of nows. However, playing my brother college football is something that when I'm 6 years old, I'm able to look on and I think take great fulfillment in and have been able to share such a great and special experience with Alberto. And not only do Alberto and I play football, not for ourselves, not for this fulfillment and satisfaction of ourselves. We have a lot of whys why we do it for. And one of the whys is our mom. And another whys is our entire family. And our entire family comes from a Cuban background. All of our grandparents were born and raised in Cuba. So that is something that we always take deeply to heart. Alberto and I have actually visited Cuba one time back in high school. And so that is something that's always in the back of our mind, is not only playing for ourselves, but playing for more, whether it's our family, our nationality, or God.
All right, next up we'll go to Mike Nislek and then RJ Young.
Yeah, Fernando, how have you kind of, I mean, the quarterback's in the spotlight all the time, no matter what, locally and everything, and your team, but how have you felt you've dealt with the national spotlight? Have you found it to be challenging at all as this has kind of picked up through the season?
Yeah, I would love to sit here and lie to you and say that, it's been smooth. However, I would say it's a little challenging, but like any challenge, there's always an opportunity with it. There's always an opportunity to praise the Lord, to praise my teammates, to praise my coaches. So whenever the challenge presents itself, and I like to see it as an opportunity. I like to see an opportunity to talk to all you wonderful folk. It's such a great opportunity to talk to the national media, local media, or whoever it is. So with the spotlight, with the pressure of it, it comes a privilege. Like, we are so blessed to be 11-0 at this point, and right now we're just focused on being 1-0. But like you said, there are some challenges, but it's honestly just a great opportunity to give the praise to other people around in this program that they deserve.
Could you maybe share one of the challenges that you found?
Yeah, I would say not this Zoom specifically, but throughout the entire season, as the season ramped up, and really after the Illinois week, there's a lot more media requests that we got from our team, and I want to shout out Mr. Campbell for helping us, for helping myself, instead of front loading my media, saving to the bye week. So I'm able to maintain my normal Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday routine that's been working, and so I'm able to keep that consistency rather than throw a wrench in the schedule where I need to take a 2-hour off for a media interview, which is fantastic because we want to highlight the IU program, want to highlight our teammates, and honestly, I want to highlight, just what we're doing here in Indiana. But I think it's great the schedule that we've had, and this Zoom itself, I think is a great representation of how we've dealt with those challenges and made the most out of our opportunities.
Go RJ and then Chris Camrani.
Fernando, I've heard you mention your mom a couple of times and her being your why. I wonder if there's an anecdote you could tell us about when that became very, very clear to you that your mom was going to be your why playing football.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Mr. Young, for being on the Zoom. Really like your stuff. So my mom, she was always my inspiration in life from a young age. She was the one who taught me to throw football. She was an amazing athlete herself. She was actually a tennis player at the University of Miami. And throughout a young age, she was always there by my side. She was the overprotective mom, per se. And she has always been a positive light inspiration before and after MS. And to see her maintain that positivity and light throughout what she's struggling with, it's never gave myself an excuse to ever have a bad day, whether it's a bad lift, bad practice, or bad game. When I see her and what she goes through and how she's fighting, how hard her fight is, I'm never, ever in a situation where I think that I can feel down on myself and not have a positive attitude and a smile on my face. And with her, it's always that unwavering belief. There's an interview that I saw that Tom Brady said that there's all the greats always have someone with unwavering love and confidence in that person, whether it's a parent, whether it's an uncle, whether it's a brother or sister. And I think that person for myself is my mom. Not saying by any means that I'm, a great or anything like that, but I would say that she's been a huge part of my success. And someone like that has been a huge part of a lot of people's success in the past, whether it was in high school when I was crying on my bed because I was like, wow, I really want to play college football. I think I'm better than a lot of these kids, but I'm getting no offer. She's like, oh, don't worry, your first offer is going to come. And then it was Yale, and I was fantastic. It was like one of the best days of my life. And then after that, she's like, you're going to get a Power 4 offer. And I'm like, Mommy, FIU and FAU aren't even offering me. How am I going to get a Power 4 offer, I'm out here, I'm just grateful for D1 FCS offer, and then I ended up coming. And whenever I got in first at Cal, she's like, you're gonna do great. You're gonna help turn that program around. And I was like, I don't even know. I'm on the sideline here. I don't even know if I could play. These guys are moving so fast. And so whatever she said has came to light, and I just can't thank her enough for everything that she's been a part of my journey. And that is really my why. Both of my parents are my why, because my dad and my mom are such great inspirations, role models to myself. But just the pillars that my mom has instructed me from a young age with that unwavering belief and confidence in myself has really exponentially increased my success here in the football space.
We'll go to Chris and then Mike Merritt.
Hey, Fernando. In the history of college football, we've had one player of Hispanic or Latino descent who has won the Heisman Trophy. That was Jim Plunkett back in 1970. We could potentially see two players of Latino and Hispanic descent be nominated for the Heisman Trophy with you and Diego at Vandy. I guess I just wonder for you, what does that mean to be able to represent two communities in the sports realm that I think you could say are historically underrepresented from a football perspective?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, it's such an honor. It is such an honor. I've seen a lot of Diego's stuff throughout his years when he was back at New Mexico State, and because he beat Auburn over there, and we played Auburn the next year. So I've watched his highlights before, and I've seen his amazing journey through Vandy. And to be able to have that opportunity and honor to be able to not only do something for yourself, but also to glorify it into a nationality and to put on for a larger audience is always such an honor and great opportunity. And that is something that, like we talked about before, is my why. It's not only my family, it's the people around me, whether it's a program, my nationality, and then it's God. So I would say that it is such an honor to be able to have that privilege. However, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Right now, all my focus is on, in this present moment, the Zoom, and then overall this week, it's on Purdue. Although we have a bye week this week, it is still on Purdue because they are a great football team and organization there. So it would be an honor, but honestly, I can't control those things. I can't control who gets invited, who gets nominated, who wins. So right now, I'm just trying to make the most of my present moment and enjoy it while it is.
Fernando, I mean, is that the most polished collegiate player you possibly have ever heard? I mean, I'm serious. This dude he says everything that's right. It's how he says it. It's amazing. He's amazing. It's like Kurt Cignetti said, nothing about Fernando surprises me. He is certainly something, and could become just the second ever Latino to win the Heisman, the first in 55 years. Wow. Crazy good stuff. It's been crazy fun. Big thanks to everybody today. Of course, Coach Griff, Dustin Schutte, our friend Matt Taylor. Most importantly, each and every one of you. Without you, we've got no reason to be here. We're back tomorrow to do it again. Wrapping it up on a Friday. Basketball tonight. Until then, I'm Jim Coyle. I will see you on the radio.
Thanks for listening to Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page for more clips and team coverage of Indiana basketball, football, and more. You can also find full episodes and tons of other content on thehoosier.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Indiana Sports Beat Radio.